It seems more Canadian snowbirds are deciding to fly elsewhere this winter to avoid the U.S. as their vacation destination.
The number of Canadians crossing the border has been steadily dropping, and a new survey finds the trend is likely to continue well into next year.
You're sitting in your favorite chair, the TV on in the background, half thinking about the upcoming winter. You're one of the many Canadians who every year swap snow boots for sandals, snowdrifts for Florida sunshine. You scroll through your phone and stop. A headline flashes. Tariff spillover hits Snowbird travel. You blink. Your winter escape, your routine of escaping the cold, feels suddenly uncertain because the neighbor you trusted is now at war with your home country over trade, and your winter plans are caught in the crossfire. Imagine this. The warm breeze of Naples, Florida, wind through palm fronds, you on your porch, coffee in hand, the winter behind you. Now imagine, 2 months before departure, you see alerts, new border entry rules for Canadians staying over 30 days, biometric registration required. You call your travel agent. The price of your condo rental jumps. You read that tariffs have just been applied by the U.S. to Canadian goods. And this time, the hit isn't just on factories, it's on you. That's the moment the snowbird migration becomes a symbol of a deeper crisis. In late 2025, the skies and sun-bleached patios that Canadians flock to became unsteady ground. The administration of Donald Trump unveiled stricter travel protocols for Canadians, biometric checks, longer processing, increased border scrutiny. Simultaneously, new tariffs on Canadian goods were announced as part of America's broader trade posture. The result, a survey of Canadian retirees found only 26% intend to spend the winter in the U.S. this year, down from 41% a year ago. Among those aged 61 and above, the figure plunges to just 10%. These numbers don't just reflect changing preferences, they reflect chill in a once warm relationship. What's going on here is much bigger than a delayed flight or an overpriced condo rental. Canadians known as snowbirds, those who follow the sun southwards each winter, are redefining their habits because Washington has shifted its tone. The America First era isn't just about trade deals and manufacturing, it's creeping into leisure, tourism, travel. In one move, Canada sees its citizens reconsidering a tradition that's lasted decades. U.S. border policy and tariff spillover are now part of the equation for winter plans. For the U.S., the implications are substantial. Those snowbirds bring billions in spending on rentals, healthcare, real estate, services across Florida, Arizona, and beyond. If Canadians cancel or cut short their stays, those local economies feel it. Tourism boards in states like Florida and Arizona are watching numbers dip. The payments that once flowed like clockwork from the Great White North are losing consistency. The border may be open, but the flow of people is slowing. And when retirees stay home, rents short-term plunge, property markets wobble, small businesses get squeezed. Back in Canada, the mix of trade tension and travel uncertainty shakes confidence. Retirees aren't only thinking, should I still go south? But should I go at all? The travel insurance industry frets. Canadian travelers cite the weakening dollar, rising costs, and what they describe as an unwelcoming border environment. One agent said clients were dropping U.S. supra bookings and looking to Mexico or hometown staycations. The very idea of escaping winter is evolving into staying put or choosing new destinations. All this began from policy ripples. The U.S. government's new measure required Canadians staying in the U.S. for more than 30 days to register electronically, enroll in biometric screening at entry and exit. Land crossing scrutiny increased. Stories emerged of retirees being pulled aside for extended interviews. Border states started feeling it. Add to that the broader tariff battle, U.S. levies placed on Canadian goods, the freeze in negotiations, and underlying geopolitical tension. Travel is no longer immune to these dynamics. It's a casualty. Imagine being in your RV in Arizona, reading your alerts. The Canadian dollar has weakened. Your US dollar budget is shrinking. Officials warn of longer border waits, and your usual condo rental just added a surcharge because of uncertainty of Canadians' tax status. That's not extra vacation stress. It's signal. It means the US-Canada link that allowed you to cross border freely is showing cracks. For thousands of snowbirds, this year feels less like a getaway and more like a decision tree. Go now, shorten stay, choose alternative. The irony is this: The damage to travel emerged not from a tourism policy, but from trade policy. Tariffs slapped on Canadian goods, cold shoulder diplomacy, and references to making Canada the 51st state by Trump. The result: distrust. Canadians read between the lines. If you get caught in the crossfire of manufacturing tariffs, what happens to your winter townhouse? Travel slides down the chain of consequence. For the U.S., the irony is equally sharp. While you protect factories and push domestic jobs, you may be losing a seasonal wave of foreign spending. There's also an identity shift. The Snowbird culture. Decades of Canadians going south for winter was built on reliability, friendly border, sticky stay, longer than 30 days, safe travel, warm sun. With that shaken, alternative patterns rise. Some snowbirds say they'll break their U.S. habit entirely. Others plan to shorten stays. Some plan to diversify into Mexico, Portugal, or stay in Nova Scotia during winter. One condo broker in Florida said he's listing dozens of Canadian-owned properties for sale because clients feel the cost and risk no longer justify the habit. From the U.S. perspective, there's a warning as well. Manufacturing jobs and trade may grab headlines, but travel spending is part of your economy. A hit to Canadian tourism means less consumer volume in border states, lower occupancy in rental markets, fewer customers for healthcare clinics servicing snowbirds, fewer Canadian patients in Florida's winter clinics paying U.S. dollars. The executives who calculate GDP might not spotlight snowbirds in their models, but the impact flows through service industries quietly but surely. As winter approaches and the snowbelts prepare to empty, states like Florida are trying to adjust. Marketing campaigns shift from "Welcome our Canadian friends" to "Let's stay year-round." Condo owners expect occupancy dips. Car rental companies anticipate fewer Canadians signing 3- or 6-month leases. The snowbird season may still happen, but the length, frequency, and volume may shrink. What was once a predictable migration becomes a variable. That's bad for economies built on that rhythm, and the political overlay makes it worse. Candidates, politicians, and policymakers see this shift as signaling something deeper. Travel is now bargaining chip. If you're a Canadian retiree used to 2 flights a year to Florida, you're being forced to factor in border insecurity, tariffs you never thought about, the weakening currency, the possibility of basic entry denial. That changes mindset. And when mindset changes en masse, habits break. 1 million snowbirds make alternative plans, not next year, but this year. What to watch for? Real estate sales of Canadian-owned U.S. properties may surge. Condo owners may shorten U.S. winter stays from 5 months to 2. Airlines may reduce winter capacity on Canadian-U.S. routes. One major Canadian airline already cited weaker bookings to the U.S. as reason to cut winter flights from Montreal to San Francisco by half. And that ripple goes into the service economy. Fewer Canadians in the U.S. means fewer rental cars, fewer urgent care visits, fewer cross-border healthcare fees. For you, the viewer, this means something. If you're one of the snowbirds, this year is a pivot point. You may shift destinations, shorten stays, pay more, face uncertainty, and if you're living in a U.S. state that counts on Canadian spending, you may see the ripple through your economy. What happens in Ottawa and Washington doesn't stay in boardrooms. It lands on porches, airports, rental contracts, and winter getaway budgets. The broader lesson? Borderless habits are vulnerable. 20 years ago, we assumed cross-border travel, trade, and seasons were reliable. That assumption is gone. Policy shifts that seem remote, tariffs, trade freezes, border scrutiny, can alter lifestyles rooted in sun and sand. The snowbird tradition is a case study, once stable, now shaking. If Canadians rethink their U.S. winters, states and industries dependent on them must rethink too. And if this relationship keeps fraying, what seemed routine becomes rare. So as you pack your bags or update your travel checklist, remember, this isn't just about skis or suits. It's about geopolitics, economics, identity, and winter. The palm tree plan may still stand, but the foundation beneath it may be shifting. If you delay booking, shorten your stay, pick a new destination, well, you're not just adapting to winter, you're adapting to a border relationship reset. Stay tuned, because we'll follow this story every day. We'll track how snowbird numbers change, how rental markets shift, how border crossings behave, and how trade policy lands in your suitcase. Subscribe to America Decrypted, because travel isn't just fun again, it's political. And every flight you book might carry more than duffel bags. It might carry the story of two countries' cooling friendship,